Hello, this is John Piper with the weekend video, and it's Saturday the 14th of March. So I was on the front line of the coronavirus invasion this morning. Went to the petrol station, filled the car up. First the station was down in lockdown, and then my credit card wouldn't work at the to pay. Fortunately, I'm working at supermarkets, so I think the petrol station credit card machine was defunct rather than anything at my end. But you know, if credit cards stopped working, it would be a slight problem. I do always have cash in hand, as it were, and a few gold coins lying around, but the credit card is the first means of payment. Anyway, lockdown, he's coming to Spain. The ruling classes, or at least the political classes, which seem to have gone down with the virus quite heavily, having taken no precautions at all. So I'm not sure we're in terribly good hands in Spain. I think the warm weather continues to help. Certainly in the UK, people don't get the flu so much when the sun's shining, and it's still very nicely warm over here. Anyway, we're talking about Bitcoin, so we're a bit of a disaster really, with the markets falling back, almost back to the December 2018 low. Had the 5 O's up here, this lengthy correction which looked complete, followed by a potentially 5-wave form, but that's now a B wave, and we've sunk, not without trace, but fairly dramatically down to below 4,000, very, very rapidly. What to say about the market? It's hard to say really. I mean, there's so many sort of rationales here. I guess if people have debts, or I mean, the story is people have margin calls on stocks, rushing to sell anything in sight so they can meet the margin calls. That makes some sense, but whether it's really the whole story, I just don't know. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that the price is now down here around 536. So a fairly decent bounce, in fact. I'll look at the bounce in a minute. We've got this trend line here, which maybe so important, but it's a fair way away. It's above 11,700 at the moment, thereabouts. Looking at the chart, if we look at this log chart back to the low in around 2015, it is possible we're seeing a one wave, or whatever you want to call it, A, B, now 1, 2, 3 maybe. So it could be one more leg down, in fact. Obviously it could do quite a lot of damage to complete a huge ABC. So that's just one concern, I guess. Well, these fibs aren't much use here because these are arithmetic fibs. So the 78.6 level is at 4,341, and the low is around 3,200. So we need log fibs where I don't have means of calculating. But I mean, 50% is going to be around here, isn't it, roughly? Just looking at the range of the chart, around 1,000, I guess. So a 50% retracement in log terms would be about around the 1,000, 1,500 level, considerably lower than we are now. Let's have a look at the shorter term. Well, the initial thrust up is quite encouraging, I suppose. I mean, you can count 5 up to there, perhaps. After that, it's all gone a bit pear-shaped. It seems to be possibly triangulating. But obviously the time zone of this is very short, and the time span of this is about 10 times long, I would estimate. So although there is a bit of an impulsive spike, I guess, and this is a 5-minute chart, we haven't got any further confirmation that any kind of low is in at this point, which we really need, I think, because clearly markets are in turmoil. The virus is sweeping the world, and it will continue to do so for another couple of months, I would think. I mean, China's peaked, and countries will go in a sequence of peaking and then starting up and winding down, but it's going to be certainly some months before it's out of the way, I think. And I mean, the news may start to get better, I suppose. I think America's one country where it could start to get a lot worse first. Maybe Spain, but they're taking serious action now to prevent that. Portugal, very few cases at the moment, that's all I can see. No deaths the last time I checked. Obviously, Italy and the UK are still to peak, so anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, the bad news could perhaps have peaked. We could have seen the lows, perhaps on stock markets, maybe on Bitcoin. But it's hard to be too sure what might come out of the woodpile, as it were. Ethereum got a very similar pattern to Bitcoin, so we've got a potential 5 waves up here. One blip there, 3, 4, 5. A, B, and it just drifts along really. So again, we've got the same sort of triangular formation at the moment, which keeps us guessing really. I mean, obviously the range is narrowing, so we're going to see a breakout pretty soon, I think. But which way it's going to come is uncertain. The daily chart of gold, so we saw a peak at around 1700, saw a low around 1500, so a $200 fall, which is fairly stable compared to everything else that's going on. So at least gold is holding up for now. Let's have a look at the action since the lows of the daily chart, as I said. Nothing really going on there. We've got an ABC rally from the low at around 1504, ABC to there, ABC down. Again, we're just really drifting sideways at the moment. I think people are trying to get an angle on what's going on really. That's not totally clear, but I think gold will be one of the survivors here. I think cryptos will be too. It's just a case of where the low comes in. Silver's been really clobbered there with this massive decline. First, it's not that huge actually. It's about 25%, so not horrendous. Nothing like the fall on Bitcoin. Not quite sure why silver is so much out of favour compared to gold, but obviously it is so. Again, same comments as gold. Now look at the 15-minute chart of FTSE. We have got this from the sell-off on the 24th. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5-part possible fifth wave. So this low could be of some importance. I mean, we've retested right back down again, but maybe we're going to see a solid bounce next week. So look at the shorter term. Okay, well the rally from the low on the 13th, on Friday the 13th obviously, from around 5,230 or thereabouts. It's an ABC form, so that's a corrective form suggesting we're going to see new lows. So what we might see, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, perhaps an early upside and maybe new lows, and then perhaps finally a low early next week. A bit tentative, need to see what's happening really, but there is a case there that we've got the final part of this maybe, the final part of this particular decline. I'm not saying it's the last decline given the situation we're in, but maybe we're going to see a more sustainable rally than we've seen so far in the next few days. It's quite hard to realise this whole thing started just less than 3 weeks ago. The world seems to change dramatically in 3 weeks, I think. It looks like an ABC on the DAX. 1, 2, ABC down to here. So maybe less positive, but let's have a look at the action since the low so far. Okay, so we've got an ABC here, really A, B, C, suggesting we've got new lows to come. Sharp decline, another ABC by the looks of it, or it could have one final rally. So maybe a bit of upside to complete that, and then down again. But again, we could perhaps see a more important low after that, out of the way. And so far, a big ABC on the Dow. A, B, and an ABC, still an ABC form at the moment. That could change, of course. This could be a 4, and then you can see that fifth wave perhaps. So for the shorter term, the same as a DAX really. It looks like it's a correction. It looks like an A and a B. So we could see 1, 2, 3. So perhaps a 4, and then a kind of a final rally before we head down again. So basically, if you look at the three indices, FTSE looks a bit more positive, i.e. shorter term, important low perhaps. DAX and the Dow seem to be suggesting that we could see an important low later in the week, and then perhaps a more significant rally. But so there's a few days, of course, make a world of difference in the trading world, but also we'll be monitoring this as we go forward with the next video on Tuesday. And that's all today. If you found that interesting and useful, it's quite hard to make sense of what's going on right now because it's so news driven, and you can't predict the news as closely as you'd like. Obviously, I mean, I think it's fairly clear that a lot of countries have yet to see the worst. I mean, the UK in particular, I think probably Spain again, also, and others like China obviously are past the worst. With the US, I think a big question mark. I mean, that's probably the biggest question mark around at the moment, I think. Anyway, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.